Hello and welcome back to my channel, and for you who I haven't wished, Happy New Year. May it be a prosperous one for us all. So this year I decided I wasn't going to set New Year's resolutions. Instead, I was going to take one word and filter it through my life. And it was something that I contemplated for quite a while, and the word I came up with was strength. To strengthen every aspect of my life, to strengthen my patience, to strengthen my immunity, to strengthen my relationships, to strengthen my health, to strengthen my mental health, to strengthen my gut health, to strengthen my back, to strengthen my core, to strengthen my education, to strengthen my business, because there's so many things that I still need to learn for my business. I only started my business in April last year, and the more I do, the more I want to learn to do so that I can improve my business. For those of you who don't know, I make silver jewelry, and I have just recently launched a range of baskets. So they're like big beach baskets and big shoppers, and I mean, I just use it as like a handbag. But the area I live in has a very sort of beachy vibe. So they're straw baskets that I hand paint, and I'll do a video on them, but I've had such a ball painting them. But now I want to do more intricate designs on them. So I need to learn how to paint intricately, because what I'm painting at the moment is just what I've always painted. So, but working with the different colors has just been so much fun. But I want to strengthen my relationship, my family relationships, strengthen the love in my life, strengthen my friendships. I'm actually going to Ireland in end of March, beginning of April, just before my birthday, to a reunion. A whole bunch of girls have immigrated to Ireland that I was at school with, and one girl who I've been friends with since I was 12. Well, I've actually been friends with all of them since I was 12, but I've kept in contact with this girl because she has sent me a birthday card every single year on my birthday. And it doesn't matter where she's lived all over the world, and I've lived all over the world, well, all over Africa. And she sends me a birthday card every single year. It's incredible. And when she's in South Africa, she comes and sees me, or we make a plan to meet up. She's incredible. So I'm going to get to see Tanya at the end of March. So I'm really, really excited. Strengthen my travel. Do a little bit more traveling. Just take the word strength and filter it through every corner of my life. Strengthen my physical being. And that's the thing in aging that I have found hardest to deal with. There's two things. My eyesight, losing my eyesight, I found very difficult to deal with, and losing my strength. I've always been a strong person. I've always been athletic, flexible and strong. For 14 years of my life, I trained dogs, so I would have to pick the dog up and take it back to where it was in order to teach it to stay. And I was working with big dogs, so I would pick up a 30-kilogram dog and move it back to where it was. I would pick up two 20-kilogram bags of dog food, one on each shoulder, and take it to where it needed to be. And yes, that was heavy, but I could do it. And now I'm finding it difficult to open a jar. I mean, fortunately, I have a 17-year-old young man that lives in my house, and I can go to him and say, "Oh, Gord's, open this for Mom, please." And he does. But what am I going to do one day when he leaves home? Phone him and say, "Gord's, you need to come open my tomato sauce for me." I mean, I know, I can't do that. And the thing is that each generation is living longer than the last. So my grandmother was in her mid-80s when she died. My mother could quite easily live to her mid-90s, if not longer, which means that our generation is going to live to be in its like mid-100s. And I don't want to have to phone Gord's to open the tomato sauce. I want to be able to do it myself for as long as I can. But our bodies are not lasting as long as our lives are lasting. So we've got to service them regularly. We've got to have those health checks. We have to make sure that our bodies can keep up with our lifespan. But it's something that we have to physically do. We have to watch what we eat. We have to exercise regularly. We have to do all the things that keep us healthier longer. We have to age. You know, it's a funny thing. My husband says to me, why can't you just grow old gracefully? And I go, I am growing old gracefully. Now, to him, growing old gracefully means that you just let yourself grow old. You just let your body grow old. As it happens, it just happens. And I'm not willing to do that. To me, growing old gracefully means I'm graceful as I'm getting older. So, yeah, but we're always polar opposites of each other. He's totally my soulmate, and I absolutely adore him, but we are polar opposites of each other. I want to be that old lady that walks down the passage with a spring in her step. I want to be that dynamite old lady. I don't want to be that old lady that is a burden to my children. I don't want to be that old lady that is in pain, because 2 years ago, I saw photographs of myself at my stepson's wedding, and I looked at them and I went, whoa, because I actually didn't realize that it was as bad as it was. And I was just ignoring the fact that I was constantly in pain. I'd put on 20 kilograms and I wasn't exercising. I was eating what I wanted to. I just wasn't looking after myself. And I was going, what's the matter with Woolworth's clothes? They must change their designer, because they don't fit me like they used to anymore. It was nothing to do with Woolworth's clothes. It was my body that was getting bigger. So I looked at this and I thought, okay, it's going to get worse from here. So you can either sort yourself out and pull yourself towards yourself, or you can go down a very dark, slippery path. And I chose to obviously pull myself towards myself. And it's been an incredible journey. It really has. But in order for us to be covered by medical aid for certain ailments, ailments that are related to sugar, high blood pressure, cholesterol, we need to have twice a year those tested. So we go to our doctor and she just logs the tests with our medical aid, and they will then cover us because we've got our fingers on the pulse. So we went off, my husband and I went off and had our tests done, and my cholesterol is sitting at 3.8, which I was very, very chuffed with. I was actually quite surprised. And this is since I've started eating vegetarian. I'm not a vegan, I'm a vegetarian. I still eat, I eat cheese every now and then and eggs every now and then, not often, but I do. And so when I got my cholesterol back, I was really, really chuffed. In fact, the first thing I did was phone my mom, because my family has a history of bad cholesterol, so phew, I missed that one. And my blood pressure was fine, my sugar's fine, everything's fine. My husband, who has a pacemaker and a stent, his cholesterol was through the roof not so long ago. He was actually on double statins. His cholesterol was on par. So we were really chuffed, and we were just about to walk out, and Arno said to the doctor, ask her about her back. And I was like, what? What about my back? He says, you've always got a sore back. Let's talk about it. And the doctor says, what's wrong with your back? I said, nothing. It's just I find that if I'm constipated, my back hurts. And because I'm going through menopause, I don't have a period every month like I used to. When I do have a period, my back hurts. So she says, have you ever hurt your back? I said, no. But I've had backache most of my life. She goes, okay, do me a favor. There's a lab just down the passageway. Please will you just go and have an x-ray for me? I just want to have a look. So now I've had breast cancer, and when I was going through the whole scenario, a friend of mine said to me that she was quite relieved because her tests had come back negative, and she had had a terribly sore back, so she was worried that the cancer had gone into her back. And I was like, oh no. Now I've got a sore back, but I've had a sore back most of my life, so don't panic. So I go and have the x-rays done, and my doctor phones me back, and when I see her number come up on my phone, I'm like, cool. So just ignore it. If I don't know, it won't hurt me. But no, I didn't ignore it. I picked up, and it was her nurse, and I thought, okay, well, if it was really something bad, I'm sure she would phone me and not her nurse. And her nurse says to me, doctor asked me to phone you because you have multiple levels of osteoarthritis in your lower spine and hips. And she wants you to take the anti-inflammatories, because she gave me anti-inflammatories as a prescription when I left. She said, just take these just in case you need them. Take 2 a day or as you need them, and I'll let you know what the x-ray said. So she said, doctor says, take the anti-inflammatories that she gave you and come back and see her in February. If it's not much better in February, then we're going to have to go and see a neurospecialist and have an MRI scan. And when she said that, I said to myself, I am going to make it my mission. And I'm very good at single focus. Not so good at double focus, but single focus I'm very good at. And I looked at this and I went, no. Because don't Google if you've got an ailment. Because they were telling me you could lose your bladder and bowel function. And I'm like, no, I am far too young for that. So how do we sort this out? Because I don't want to go through down the worst path of this ailment. And lots of people have it. How did I get it? Well, I've never hurt my back. How did I end up with arthritis in my spine and hips when I've never hurt it? I mean, I've always been very active and athletic, but I've never been one of those people that do silly things where I could be hurt. I've always been cautious that way. And then I'm thinking about those dogs that I picked up and the dog food that I picked up. And I did that for a long time. And because I'm strong, if there are heavy things to pick up and somebody has said to me, wait, let me help you, I go, no, don't worry, I can do it. And I just do it. Well, it didn't do much for my back, or my hips, or my knees. In fact, it didn't do much for my lower body. And now it has turned around and bitten me in my arse. But I also don't want to be on anti-inflammatories for the rest of my life. And I don't want to be in pain for the rest of my life. So we're going to have to deal with this, and we're going to have to manage it. And that is what I want to talk about going forward. I've always been really good at researching stuff, and I really enjoy researching stuff. To do this whole recuperating and recovery and keeping this under control naturally, rather than take the anti-inflammatory for the rest of my life. And so I'm inviting you to come with me. And if you want to walk this journey with me and you want to know how we can fix ourselves, how we can heal ourselves with natural remedies, and I'm going to do research across the board. Of course, when I do research, I don't just listen to one person, because you never know if that one person is speaking the truth. So I do multiple research, and I would try out the different remedies and then report back on what works and what doesn't work. And obviously, I mean, I'm sure that these type of things are different, but what I find out, I will share. So if you want to know what I find out, if you suffer from any form of arthritis and you want to walk this journey with me, if you are going through menopause, because that's another subject I want to talk about this year, is going through menopause the natural way. My cancer was caused by hormones, so I can't do any HRTs going through menopause. I've got to do this naturally. And then my mother never went through menopause. She had a hysterectomy, and my grandmother told me that one day she woke up and it was just gone. But my grandmother came from an era where you didn't talk about things like that. You also cut your hair when you turned 40, and you never wore shirts where your arms showed after you turned 40. So I'm sure that she didn't just wake up and one day it was gone, but that's how she told us she wasn't going to talk about it. So I found it so difficult because I don't have somebody that I can go to and say, what happened to you? Because the women in my family either don't talk about it or didn't go through it. So I want to talk about going through menopause the natural way, going through aging the natural way, keeping ourselves at optimal level, but doing it naturally and doing it gracefully. And I want to talk about how we can live our best life for as long as possible. If you're experiencing any of the same things that I am, you just need to hit that subscribe button. And until we meet again, stay safe and be healthy. Bye.